Shares of Match Group up this morning after beating on earnings and raising their guide. This as the company's dating app Tinder saw growth in paying subs. Stocks up more than 40% so far this year. Joining us this morning in a CNBC exclusive is Match Group CEO Mandy Ginsberg. Mandy, it's good to have you back. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Revenue up 36, OpEx up 81, and then Tinder subs up 81 year on year. How did that match with your expectations?
It's great. I mean, certainly a good day to be in the love business. We also stated that we're on pace to exceed $800 million in revenue for Tinder this year, and so things are firing on all cylinders. We're excited about the guidance.
We talked about Tinder in recent months, largely through the lens of whether or not Facebook would launch a dating app of its own. Is this quarter a sign that even if they do, or it goes to scale, that Tinder has enough of a lead?
We think we're set up pretty well. Between Tinder's growth and the rest of our portfolio of products, they haven't launched anything yet. Nothing that we've heard changes our view that we're in a great position. If you think about it, Tinder's got such great growth, and I just don't think a 22-year-old is going to say, I'm going to stop using Tinder and start using Facebook dating.
Looking at, Mandy, this is Morgan Brennan. Looking at the growth in Tinder, is it really still just focused on millennials, or are you seeing expansion into other demographics as well?
The vast majority of people at Tinder are people in their 20s. And, one of the initiatives that we're launching in the next week is a product for students on university campuses. And we want to make sure we stay relevant and cool. We've always had a strong presence on university campuses, but we think that this really invigorates excitement on college campuses by providing Tinder, where you can easily toggle and access the wide audience, but then you can also just access just university students on your campus and across campuses near you. And we just think that this is important to, keep that momentum alive in those college campuses.
So maybe Facebook launches a dating app and it doesn't necessarily go head-to-head with Tinder. You don't expect 20-somethings to jump from one to the other. But what about Match or OkCupid, which maybe are targeting different demographics?
Well, I think there's a couple things. Match is the number one brand for people who are sort of 20 to 50, and it's a trusted brand. But, Facebook has a big footprint globally. So to the extent that Facebook introduces this notion of dating and dating profiles in parts of the world where people really aren't used to dating, it could open up the category for us as well.
Talk to me about Tinder University. What new generation are you trying to reach? I guess the timing here, not surprising because we start to go back to school, but what's the point of the product?
Well, there are about 20 million students, not just U.S. alone, on university campuses. So think about it, 4 or 5 million students matriculate every year. So you have a ton of 18-year-olds who are starting new relationships, creating friendships. And so the idea is that we can create a lot of ways or a lot of reasons for people to come back and keep using our product. We think not only will they get a lot of value when they're in colleges, but when they graduate, we also think they'll continue to use Tinder.
Do you guys believe pricing power here is now in your court? If you wanted to raise the price for a paying sub, is that feasible in the next year or two?
We always look for ways to optimize price, but for us, the way we think about it is if we can create a really compelling base product that gets people excited and talking and introduces new features like Loops, which is our video product in places, we think that it's going to be a compelling offering. And then if we can provide tools on top of that, like Tinder Gold, which we now enhanced with a new feature called Picks inside of that Gold subscription package, we think that people will pay for value, and they're not afraid of paying value. And we have lots of opportunity, I think, to price test across the globe.
Mandy, before we let you go, want to get your thoughts on a different topic. In light of Indra Nooyi stepping aside as PepsiCo CEO, the news that broke earlier this week, one of the questions we're putting out there, it's actually less women in CEO positions at S&P companies, not more, despite the fact that there is this big focus on bridging the gap and diversity, et cetera. Is this something that you're thinking about in your company? And if so, what are the types of discussions you're having, and how are you fostering those next generations?
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, also, I have 2 daughters, and we set the example not just for the generation that's working for us now, but the future generations that will be in the workforce. And for me, at our company, 35% of our VP and above are women, but it's not enough. And I think that it's a call to all women and women executives that we need to make sure that we set the example and attract women because they are the future.
Finally, Mandy, you mentioned a marketing push on some other products like Hinge in the back half of the year. Should we expect those things to be significant year on year when we get into 19?
Well, the big focus on Hinge, we announced about a month ago that we bought a majority stake in Hinge. We think it's a great, compelling product, and we're really focused now on driving marketing awareness through marketing. Hinge is a phenomenal product, but it's mostly been driven through word-of-mouth marketing. If we can get the word out and start amping up our marketing spend, we think that we can really drive growth. Our focus is on user growth, not necessarily on monetization, because we just think that we need to calibrate monetization with, creating a great momentum in the product.